when I can't do what I want to do, it will mess with you. So you've got to kind of, when you do get back to it, that progress will happen because you've been through that horrible struggle and you realize why you're there and what you're trying to do. My name's Carson Coles. I'm 22. I'm only a brown belt at the minute, so I've been training for a little while since I was a little kid. Started at 11. Grew up competing, basically living in the gym. I initially started competing like 13, 14, and it was always just gi. And more recently, it's been super fight kind of scene, trying to build myself up on that.
And it is going to be a points victory for the 21-year-old Carson Coles. Incredible work.
So my initial one was I had a knee injury when I was 16. So just as I kind of like left school and had the idea of truly going in the direction of like being an athlete and grappling, that definitely kind of taught me a lot. It was horrible because it took me back like a solid year and a half. Still being like around the gym and teaching as much as I can, but not being able to really move too much. Yeah, I needed to kick up the ass a little bit because when I had the first initial injury, I kind of didn't understand what it was like to be out and not be able to do the thing you love and want to do. So it taught me a lot, like to realize that horrible struggle is a reason, and it makes you really understand your reason why and your purpose to be doing what you were doing in the first place. When you can't do something, you realize why you love it so much. Sometimes people take it for granted, and I've done that before. You've got like a lovely run of training going, you're competing, you're doing well. You don't realize what you got until you have it taken away from you. Yeah, it made me realize that when I can't do what I want to do, it will mess with you. So you've got to kind of, when you do get back to it, that progress will happen because you've been through that horrible struggle and you realize why you're there and what you're trying to do. It's definitely a character builder. Every time I've got injured, I've learned something about myself more than the injury. It's like I realized why I was getting injured or how I was not healing faster than what I should have. And it was just my head being a bit mangled and messed up. So I needed to truly understand myself and how to really get back from those injuries to make sure I don't waste any more time. So I teach a lot anyway at the club that my coaches Luke and Clayton, they run. So like that's kind of covered that part for me at the moment. So for me, like it's pure competition based. Obviously like Luke, our coach, Luke Chamberlain, like the way he manages ourselves is like we're doctor surgeons, you know? We take every single day and every minute as serious as if we're trying to save someone's life on an operating table.
I'll just be keeping that in there. I'll take the back, that works too.
Building my way to ADCC, obviously you've got to go the hard way, you've got to win the trials. So that's like my short-term goal, but obviously that's not the hardest bit. The hardest bit is staying at ADCC once you get there. Like officially, as we class ourselves as professionals, it started just under 4 years ago, and we were trying our best. We have like cycles of what we're trying to achieve, and we've got an initial 5 and then a second 5 and then a third 5 potentially as well. But for the first few years we've been doing this, like, yeah, no one's knew where we are, who we are, what we're doing. And then so we're kind of coming out of the woodwork now out of nowhere, which I think is getting a lot of recognition. And I think that's why we've managed to all kind of cultivate that atmosphere together. And then like one by one, we've kind of all had our little breakthroughs bit by bit. And I think there's going to be many more as well that people haven't seen yet and are going to start kind of pushing their way through that invisible ceiling.
Carson Coles looking absolutely flawless. Definitely one to look out for.
It was a good match. End result is what I wanted. I wanted to obviously get the submission.
But my plans now, because it is all no-gi, is to try my best to obviously build myself super fight-wise, take as many big names as I can as they come, earn my opportunities to shoot at the bigger names as possible, but then build into ADCC at the same time, because I don't want to neglect tournaments, but I understand the best matches for me right now because of my experience is going to be in super fights where I can fight black belts, you know, people that's been training and competing a lot more and longer than I have. So my plan is step by step to go from winning trials, getting to ADCC, winning ADCC, and then staying on top of ADCC as well. So there's a lot to say. It takes a bit to actually say it because there's a big ask, but that is the plan. And then in the process, other kind of subsidiary things as well, like super fights, building a solid name elsewhere, and trying to fight those people that are currently at ADCC before I actually get there, because I understand I've got a whole year yet before I even get to do trials, and then another whole year and a half before I can even do ADCC. So I've got that 2 and a half year window to try and sculpt as many of those guys as I can to ensure that I get that experience before I get there. I think Progress is such a unique brand and team, and the atmosphere that you guys cultivate and the way you operate are like true professionals. And I think that's like really fortunate for me to be aligned and working together with that, because like how serious I treat my job as being an athlete and a coach as well, like equally you need that kind of that professional support. And the fact that you guys are the exact same, just from a different kind of area, it gels really well. So I feel like with the two together, that can really drive through and completely like push through those ceilings that I need to break through, because without it, it's hard to do on your own, like one or the other. So having that together, I think is definitely going to help.